he gets up in here. Go ahead and copy this.
Oh, boy.
What?
I've run into some real dipshits on YouTube today. Just
Oh, really?
clueless wonders.
Mm.
Ah, damn.
Yeah, you got some dopes that comment into your stuff, and
There are some idiots.
and
There are
half
some
of them I
smart
want to.
people too. But
Yeah.
god damn.
What the fuck? No, there. Let me see here. Oh, I know why. All right, let's see here. That's too loud. Say something for me, Kale.
Dog. What's up?
All right, good. Making sure that our recording. What's up with the dog?
He looks dead, but he's sleeping. He's only like 6 months old. Look how big his fucking feet are. Oh,
look, there's the comrade. What the hell kind of dog is that, Kale?
Super mutt.
That's the best damn kind of dog, sir.
He's a good doggy.
He's a good dog. I'm sure he is. Comrade, hello.
What's up?
Look at all the folks turning up to see old Carolina Jackpot. Sandra says she hopes that he's alive. That's a good thing. All right. Let's put this up and then we will get started. All right, here we go, gentlemen. And I think we're ready to go. So, welcome into the latest edition of the Rob Comrade and Kale Show. I am Rob Sanders. I represent the Clemson Tigers on this podcast. Ashamed of Dabo Swinney's TikTok. Holy shit on that. But we may get into that later. I do have two co-hosts this evening. One is the man in the upstate who has a super mutt that looks like he's dead sleeping next to him. He is Kale Hall. Kale, welcome to the show.
Glad to be here. It's Sunday evening. Ready to get things rocking and rolling. Ready to get headed towards football season. Hot
Damn
day.
right.
It feels like summertime. It's a great day. As always, great day to be a Gamecock, baby. Spurs up to my toes up.
We also have Vladimir Putin's water boy, the most hated man on Facebook. He is the comrade, Mike Dobreski. Mike, good evening, sir.
Good evening. Great day to be a Gamecock and proud that I have a coach who does not make a fool of himself on social media. That's all I'm going to say.
Dabo did make himself look silly. But we may get into that later. We got other things we're going to get into tonight. Lots of cool stuff. But first, as always, I want to thank our sponsors for the show, including Callaway's Bar and Grill out in West Columbia. By the way, last night I did trivia at Callaway's. You know what a Santee license plate is? You guys have any clue what that is? I learned that is a tramp stamp. Learned that from a couple of guys that are now going to be listening to the show. So there you go. So we'll get into that a little bit later. Tramp stamps. That's funny. But Callaway's Bar and Grill out in West Columbia, diagonal from the Walmart. Go and support your local small business, including Callaway's. We also have DNC Trucking and Transport, the No Spin Zone segment with the comrade. It comes up every episode. Dennis Wilson puts out some facts, and the comrade doesn't spin. With that, read away, comrade.
I stand at 5'7" tall, a full 7 inches shorter than Dennis Wilson. It sucks to be a Gamecock. The Red Sox are cheaters. Sean Elliott would have been a better South Carolina coach than Will Muschamp. I am the reason Cal Hall pisses in his sink. It's utterly shameful to be a Gamecock. Go Tigers.
You didn't read the whole thing, stupid. Read the whole thing.
What do you mean?
That you're
That's
missing
all
a piece
I
of
have.
it. That's not true.
I have a KKK filter in my email. I mean, if you send something,
read it.
did you send something?
Read it.
Did you send the
need to read the whole.
Okay.
That script is approved. So
Matt Tomlinson of the Ku Klux Klan has more football knowledge than I can ever dream of having. He called the 4-8 season and then backtracked, and he beat me in the Pick'em contest.
Holy shit, that triggers you so bad. But thanks to Dennis Wilson from DNC Trucking and
We just have to go by
Transport for putting
facts
that
now.
together. That is facts. He did beat you. He did call the 4-8 season.
Well, he called the
explain.
4-8 season, and we made fun of him. And then he said, I really am not predicting that. You're getting in semantics. Then they go 4-8, and then he wants to say I predicted it. So he's
but
not.
you guys suck. You guys
He's
are
not. He needs a spine. He needs a spine. And I don't think he'll join the contest this year. We'll see.
He's going to join.
But $100, and he's got to send me the money. It can't be, here's Matt's money for him. He's in.
I send everybody's money in, so stop with that bullshit.
He can sign up because I know it's going to happen. He won't sign up, and you'll go ahead and do it for him, and then say, come on, let's make your picks, man. Come on. Don't. No, I'm busy, man.
He'll outpick you. That's guaranteed.
If he's in, he'll lose. That's why he didn't go to the Bowl Pick'em Challenge. He knew.
No,
he knew.
That's how it's going to be.
He knew. He let you down. Because you clicked the Bowl Pick'em. He let you down.
I won the Bowl Pick'em Challenge.
But he let you down. He didn't join. You told me he was going to beat me in that, too, and he didn't join.
He would have. He would have beat you in that.
He was afraid.
Business must have picked up.
Business probably was booming, and maybe he had another kid or something.
Let's thank our patrons for the show. They give us $1 or $2 a month. They make the show work. They, of course, are Lawton Swan of Clemson Sports Talk, Thomas Dana Young, Stacey Hamp, Keith Harrelson, Jamie Phillips, Tabitha Sims, Robert Knight. We also have Lisa Sester Harkins, Jeff Pritchett, Christian Young, Eddie Hicks, Sally Donegan, and Melanie Bookhart. We appreciate them for supporting the show. So I thought we'd have a little bit of fun this evening. It's kind of fun to do some stuff like this sometimes, but I thought we would do our, and I know that I kind of got this from a podcast Kale and I listened to. It's one of Conrad Thompson's shows where he talks about your Mount Rushmore of. So I thought we'd do tonight's Mount Rushmore of South Carolina Gamecocks.
Okay, real quick, before we get into this now, we have Tennessee fans in here, which means they have no education. Do you guys know what Mount Rushmore is? Do you guys know what that is? Like how many people are up there? Do you understand?
Dude,
Look, I'm just making sure. I'm trying to listen. Sometimes
I was going to set it
go
up for
over people's heads.
Dude,
Okay,
you didn't even give me a chance.
I just
was
remember.
going to talk about Mount Rushmore and how it's a historical monument.
Okay, I'm just making sure because this podcast is different now. We used to not have Tennessee fans in here. Now we've got a bunch of them in here. We have to explain
do you want
things.
to set up the show or do you want me to?
I'm just making sure. That's all. Go ahead.
Okay,
It's a civil public
I know what I'm
service
doing.
deal. God damn.
I'm just trying to make sure I'm educating.
Shit. You just want to rip Tennessee fans.
I'm just making sure they understand. Because I know if we don't set it up, NASCAR Ball will go, what's a Mount Rushmore? I don't get it. I think you should name 2 people. I mean, he won't know.
We all have our roles on the show here. And my role is to set shit up. And God damn it, your role is to hit home runs.
Okay. I'm just making sure. I'm just making sure you can set it up. That's all. I'm looking out for NASCAR Ball.
I've got 2 Grand Slam sluggers here. Let's hit that shit,
Speaking of Tennessee fan, one Uncle Lou put out a really good video yesterday about Phil Fulmer being the only person in the SEC, the only athletic director to, I guess, vote against the June 1st practice start or something. And went on to reiterate that the Vols that they want the 2020 season to be canceled so that they can continue to be the off-season world champions.
Look at Kale setting his own shit up and knocking it completely out of the park. The champions
they're always back.
Who's coming back first, Tennessee or Texas? Who's coming back first? That's a good question tonight. Who's coming back and going to be valid first, Tennessee or Texas?
Texas.
Yeah. Comrade, who do you got, Tennessee or Texas back first?
Who's coming back first?
Yeah, we always hear they're back. They're back, by God. You hear that 3 games into the season after you were hearing it a lot last season, like right before the Georgia State game. You could hear all the Tennessee fans like, oh my goodness, we're back. We're back. We're 25-point favorites this weekend. We're all going to get on the, what do they call it? The Vol Navy, and everybody's going to wear thongs, and we're going to go up there and show our balls to Georgia State. And then Georgia State smacked the fuck out of them. But then
the
it's
Vol
like,
Navy, the
next
ship
year.
burned.
We'll be back next year, by God.
Get one of the ships sink that day or something in the river. I don't.
Anyway, I thought we would do the Mount Rushmore of South Carolina tonight, which is 4 prominent members of the Gamecock athletic community that when you put out there, you have no problem with them being your beacon as a Gamecock. Now, I'll let you 2 gentlemen do yours first because it's your team, because I think that my 4 are different than your 4. So why don't we start? We'll go. Who wants to go first? You guys figure it out. Who goes first?
Well, my first question is this. Are we doing athletes or are coaches involved too?
It's Gamecock. So whatever your Gamecock that you want to go up on Mount Rushmore, if we were going to cut their face out and put it up there to replace Washington and everybody else, which 4 would you have? It's very simple. You need a minute? I think Kale's got his.
Go ahead, Kale. Because I have to I have to rethink mine a little bit. I was going to do coaching.
Well, it has disappointed me lately, but I think you have to put Ray Tanner up there.
That's a good pick.
Mm-hmm.
He won 2 national championships, almost won 2 more.
Yeah.
So he set that program up really nice. So I think he has to go there. I think you have to put Steve Spurrier up there. Despite the way it ended, he took the football program places it had never been before. So I put him there. I think you have to put George Rogers on it. Heisman Trophy winner, overall #1 draft pick. It's a hell of a ball player, and I'm torn on the other side. There are a lot of people that come to mind, but I think you have to put Alex English on there. Not just because of what he did as a Gamecock on the basketball court, but very, very, very long NBA career. And he was before my time and before any of our times, really. But he did some phenomenal shit back in the day. So that's mine.
That's pretty good. So yours, just to recap, Kale's is Ray Tanner, Alex English, George Rogers, and then who was your 4th, Kale?
Steve Spurrier.
And Steve Spurrier.
And George Rogers.
And George Rogers. All right, good. Comrade, have you got yours?
Okay, so you have to go with George. I mean, he won the Heisman Trophy. I mean, I know you guys don't know what that even is in Clemson. He won the Heisman Trophy. It's important. So George is up there. I remember.
Fun fact for the Tennessee fans in here. George Rogers never scored a touchdown against Clemson, but carry on.
Who cares? What cares?
He didn't need to.
Didn't need to, exactly.
Still won.
So you got to put George. I remember when I was in school at Carolina, on the one building there, the Booker T. Washington building is down now, but he had a mural up of George when you walked on campus. They tore that down now, but that was pretty cool. So George, when I came to school there, he was a huge deal, even though it was about 13 years after he won the Heisman when I got there. So you got to put George up there. He's kind of one of the faces of the program of the university. So George, that's for sure. Another thing I'm going to bring up, I know Cal brings up Alex English, and I kind of agree with it, and I kind of don't. And I wasn't around back then either, okay? So, but from my understanding, Alex wasn't – I mean, he was a good college player, okay? But he's more famous for the fact that he's one of the great NBA players, like the 18th all-time leading scorer in NBA. So he kind of did the Gamecock pride kind of after he left here. I mean, he was really good here too, but afterwards. So I'm not going to put him on there. The guy I'm going to put on there is another guy that I wasn't around for, but the reason why I'm going to put him up there is because of my mother-in-law, and my mother-in-law does not follow sports. Okay. I married her daughter over a decade ago, and I'm a huge sports fan. And because she's a sweet lady, like she will kind of make sure what the scores of the games are. Like if the Gamecocks lost, she'll text me and say, I'm sorry, they lost today. Like she'll do that stuff. But she doesn't know anything about sports. However, to this day, she will tell you about John Roach and how she has a crush on John Roach and how John Roach in the bookstore. And my best friend's father, who grew up in that era, will talk about how back then Gamecock basketball was bigger than anything at any point in the school. And John Roach was kind of the leader. I mean, he wasn't Frank McGuire, but he was kind of the main man. So I'm going to put John Roach up there, just the fact that, the mother-in-law test, doesn't follow sports, can tell you about John Roach. So he crossed over all things. So I'm going to go with George, John Roach. I've got to go probably then. I got to go with probably Ray Tanner and put him up there. And I'm going to go with Don Staley.
All right. Well, there you go.
That's my 4. That's my 4.
With mine, I did some research on mine because I'm not the big Gamecock fan that you guys are. But Alex English came up first to me.
Still hope for you, though.
Well, thank you, Cale. The comrade made a good point, but Alex English on and off the court he is proud of his university, always wore the beacon that he was proud to be a Gamecock. You go and talk to him now. He still goes to games here in Columbia, and it's just an absolute nice man. And if you put him up on Mount Rushmore, he will not embarrass you. Now, my 2 co-hosts, they don't care about being embarrassed because they put a cocaine addict up on their Mount Rushmore. My 4 are actually above average class individuals. Okay, so let's make sure we have that. Number 2 for me is Michael Roth. Comrade loves Gamecock baseball, and he didn't think to put Michael Roth on his Mount Rushmore.
Whoa. Real quick, here's the issue.
Finish.
Whoa. Here's the problem.
What?
The problem is that it's hard to pick just one baseball player, okay? Because we have so many great ones. Roth, JBJ, Whit Merrifield, Christian Walker, all those guys who did great things to win those 3 titles. So I chose Ray Tanner as a symbol of those guys. Like Ray Tanner kind of is the person over all of them. That's why I put them in there.
I didn't go with coaches because coaches
he was the straw that stirred the drink.
Okay, well
that's why I asked you. The reason why I asked you is do we include coaches? Because if you say no to coaches, then the list is a little bit different. Okay, then I'm probably
interpret it differently.
Well, that's what I said. The Gamecock. So if I'm not going coaches, I'm going George Rogers. I'm going John Roach. I'm going Asia Wilson. Okay, Player of the Year, won a national championship, #1 draft pick. Okay, and then for baseball, God, I'd probably lean Roth, but I mean JBJ.
Get the fuck
Man, JBJ
out
was good. I mean,
JBJ was hurt the majority of his
no,
senior
I
year.
understand some, but Michael Roth didn't even pitch until the end of the 2010 season. Okay,
Okay.
I'm just saying though too. But JBJ wasn't hurt out. So I mean, I would probably lean JBJ as my baseball player.
Here's my guy. I'm going with Roth. His career ERA of 1.49, fifth lowest among all pitchers with at least 30 innings pitched in the College World Series. Michael Roth should be up there, and it's not even remotely close, especially over Jackie Bradley Jr. I can't even like think that you would have that in that same era.
JBJ was unreal in college, man. You don't understand how good. I think you're thinking of JBJ as a Red Sox who couldn't hit Cal Hall. Okay,
he was hurt. He was hurt a good
No,
bit,
he was
Mike.
not. No, he was not hurt. He had his last year. He had a helmet bone thing, which dropped his draft pick, so the Red Sox could draft him. But he was. I mean, Michael Roth didn't show up till the end of 2010. I mean, Michael Roth, the 2010 season, he wasn't even around, and he gave him the ball against Clemson in Omaha and came up big. And then he had a big 2011 season 12. So
that's Ray Tanner's fault.
Oh, well, no, but I would go JBJ.
Ray Tanner puts him in, and he's awesome. But okay,
I would go JBJ.
That's fine. But Alex English, Michael Roth, Asia Wilson should lead from the front because Asia Wilson, of course, played her high school basketball at Heathwood Hall here in Columbia. National Player of the Year, Wooden Award, Naismith Trophy, SEC Player of the Year. Most dominant player in college basketball, number one overall pick in the WNBA draft. And Michael, the other one that I had for me was John Roche. And I didn't take him because of what Comrade said. I took him because John Roche was a tough sumbitch. If you get anybody that from, and I get to use Teddy Hefner from Columbia a good bit because Teddy knows all about John Roche, and he said point blank, John Roche was the best Gamecock that he'd ever seen play as far as being a team player, grit, hard-nosed, and can do anything you wanted him to do. So John Roche, Michael Roth, Alex English, and Asia Wilson. Now, if you notice, what is one thing that is missing from my set of five?
Yeah, you left off a Heisman Trophy winner and number one draft pick because you're dumb. You left off football because you're an idiot.
Because he's a cocaine addict. Because he's a cocaine addict. He got arrested for snorting more cocaine than all of us combined. What I left off was football players because your football program is not worth a shit, and they don't deserve to be enshrined in anything that is going to signify what the university is. The university's got them playing in the fucking ghetto. They don't want them anywhere near the campus. They're all the way over there where people are having crackheads and getting shot. So that's why I was like, I can't put any of these Gamecock football players over there. They ruined Steve Spurrier and sent his ass into retirement. The guy was a champion pretty much everywhere he went on the college front. Fuck that. He goes to South Carolina. He turns into a world of shit.
Tell us about all the championships you won.
Couldn't put any football players there. Couldn't put any of them in there. They're all worthless and not worth a shit. So there you go with that.
They didn't win any championships at Duke.
He won an ACC title at Duke.
Bullshit.
I think he tied for one. I think they tied.
They still claim it.
Well, yeah.
Alabama claims the national title where they finished 20th one year. Steve Spurrier can claim that.
You claim division championships that one year, and you go to the championship game.
Shit.
It's in your stadium. It's in your stadium.
Tell us about your championship banners there, comrade.
We're not talking about, I'm just saying it's in your stadium.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, we didn't tie anybody though.
Was it the 2012 ACC Atlantic Co-Champions?
Yeah.
They put it on.
They put it up there. It's up there.
We've talked about that. I don't agree with all that shit. You put your fucking conference titles and that's it.
But the problem is your fans act like we don't claim moral victories. We're about this, and then we show you that. Well, I mean, I don't like that.
Notice the comrade spun this. We're not even talking about Clemson, and the comrade spun it. He can't even deal with the fact that his program is
We rode a pathetic
No, listen.
Atlantic to national championship game.
That's
so we're
right.
Not worried about that anymore.
The whole Mount Rushmore thing. That's why I asked you beforehand if we count coaches. You go, I need Gamecock. Well, coaches are the Gamecocks too. So it's two different answers. I mean, in college, I think coaches are more of the Mount Rushmore material than the players are, because the players are for 4 years at the most, and you're really good one, so the coaches kind of define college, But if you're going just no coaches, so you can't use coaches, then I think
I don't. The reason that I don't think that you should use.
You okay?
Yeah. The reason I don't think you should. I'm sorry, Caleb. Go ahead.
NASCAR Vol says Tennessee's worst coach of all time is undefeated against USC Junior best coach ever. Yeah, and you're also 1-8 against Will Muschamp. Let that sink in.
Cal, you say that as an insult, though. Will Muschamp's a great coach.
That's bad.
That's pretty bad. 1-8. 1-8. How do you go 1-8 against Will Muschamp? That's fucking terrible.
Because you suck.
I don't get that at all.
You suck out loud.
But look, let's be honest about this though. Would you have a problem if the Mount Rushmore that I put together actually was the Mount Rushmore of Gamecocks? Could you argue that those 4 shouldn't be there?
You gotta have George on there. Listen, let me explain something real quick. Let me explain something real quick. I'm gonna give you a personal story. Number 1.
Oh,
okay.
Here we
go. Now listen. Did George Rogers have a drug problem? He did. He's in the 80s. A lot of people did. Okay. But I will tell you this. All right. There is not, to this day, right now, a guy who does a better job of representing Carolina athletics than George Rogers. All right.
That's because he can't spell.
Nicest guy. He sat with me, had lunch with me on my first week on campus. I didn't even know who it was. I didn't looked up. It was during 2 days. I was tired as hell. I looked up and saw a Super Bowl ring, a big black guy with a Super Bowl ring on. I looked up and realized it was George, and he was sitting there having lunch with me. And then at practice the next day, I got like all kinds of like, oh yeah, Dabrowski having lunch with Big George. I'm like, nice guy. And then he met my kids about 4 years ago, and was just great with my kids. My little son at the time almost knocked off the Heisman Trophy off the table. It started wagging. I had like my life pass over my eyes, and I go, Will, get away from the damn trophy. And George goes, oh no, he needs to hug on that trophy. That trophy is here to be loved. And so my son put his arm around it. That he is a great guy. His godson is someone who I coached on a golf team a few years ago, who's a Clemson fan, by the way. Great guy. So I will not have you badmouth George Rogers in my presence. Right. On top of that, he was the real deal. Heisman Trophy, ahead of his time, a big-ass dude who was fast as hell. I mean, watch the films on him. It looks like he's like he should be playing now, okay? Like the people around him are just too damn small and slow. And it looks like he's like, took a time machine back there. He's in that Herschel Walker mode, okay?
Earl
Campbell mode. I mean, he was a damn horse.
He
went to the NFL. He went to the NFL, and he was the rookie of the year, okay? Led the rookies in rushing, and he was a Saints all-time leading rusher for a number of years. And it so happened he went to New Orleans as a young kid, to New Orleans, which is a tough city as a young kid, got involved with the wrong people, and got involved in drugs. Okay?
Get out.
So,
all right. Are you done? I'm going to say my last thing about George Rogers.
That team was shitty, too, when he went down there. They were horrible. I saw they were wearing the
Saints are been horrible forever. He played on shitty teams in high school, in college, and in the damn pros.
That's why they beat you.
Yeah, they did. Clemson wasn't very good then. I'm not here saying that.
The year before they won the damn national championship.
They weren't that great though. They weren't like earth-shattering teams.
Revisionist history.
Revisionist if you lose to South Carolina, you're not a good football team, in my opinion.
Revisionist history.
getting back to finishing up on the George Rogers bit, there are no white lines around Williams-Brice Stadium. It's all yellow because they're afraid George will hit the ground and sniff it.
Oh,
And
shut
finally,
up.
when George, and this is a absolute true story, they wanted to bring George Rogers on the Gamecock radio network, and this is not a joke. This is completely true. I've got the tape at work, and I may put it together. So
Don't be an ass.
no, this is true, Mike. This
Do
is
not
absolutely true. I'll say whatever the fuck I want. Let's make sure we understand that.
St. George.
So Bob Fulton, the voice of Gamecock Athletics, one of the best play-by-play guys ever in the history of college athletics, they tell Bob Fulton, okay, look, we got George Rogers down here at the half. We're going to get, George Rogers is going to be like a correspondent. So they, the Gamecocks are getting their dicks kicked in by somebody. And
probably not.
The Bob Fulton goes, let's head down to the sidelines and we will get a report from Heisman Trophy winner George Rogers.
Impression is horrible.
George Rogers. No one can impersonate Bob Fulton. Fuck,
don't even try.
He was too great. So
Bastard.
they said, then he says, George, tell us what you think about the first half of the game. And George goes, well, the Gamecocks need to put more points on the board.
They do.
And then there's about 8 seconds of dead air silence. And then Bob Fulton did the best that he possibly could for him. He goes, thank you, George. And then you know what happened? George Rogers was never on the fucking air again because they knew he couldn't string 8 fucking words together. So if you want that on your Mount Rushmore, I have the tape, Mike. It's fucking true. If you want that on your Mount Rushmore, have at it.
He broke it down for the dummies. Yes, he did. Was he incorrect? Was he incorrect?
George Rogers sucks.
It sounds to me like hit the nail on the head and breaking things down. How dare you trash George in the show? You will not do that. How dare you?
Yeah, well, I just did.
How dare you?
The comrade may have a man crush on George. Thank you for that, Glenn Powell.
I do. George is a great human being.
Nothing wrong with that.
All right. Well, there you go with that. The other thing we're going to get into this evening was I posted something in one of our groups today where it was about Sean Elliott and the outlook for Georgia State and how Georgia State is a team that's looked upon in the Sun Belt Conference as a team that could be the dark horse to win that conference this year. And it also talked a little bit about how he's doing such a good job on the recruiting front. And he is doing he's building a program. So it's fun because you can look at the idiot that South Carolina has now, and you can wonder, we could have gotten a guy that's from Camden, by God, South Carolina. No, he didn't have to come here and be a fucking teabagger like the comrade. This guy is from South Carolina and bleeds South Carolina.
I'm a teabagger. I'm a carpetbagger. How am I going to be a teabagger?
Teabagger, carpetbagger.
How the hell did that become a teabagger?
Because you like Peyton Manning.
You think Georgia State can go 2 for 2 against the Vols this year?
They're not playing them this year. They're playing Alabama.
They don't have a return matchup in the old Atlanta Turner Field?
No, they should.
I just got jokes. I'm sorry.
I think it's funny. But they're playing Alabama this year. NASCAR Vol says that Georgia State is beating Alabama. I don't know about all that. Yeah, it is carpetbagger. I got to highlight that comment because that's funny. Let's highlight that for NASCAR Vol if I can get it moving there. There we go. Anyway, so yeah, Georgia State beating Alabama. That's what Tennessee Vol says. I don't know if that's going to happen or not.
Shit pushed in.
But it does beg the question. First of all, I'll ask you both. I'm not even going to ask the comrade because the comrade's got calluses on his knees. But Cale, would you rather have Sean Elliott than Will Muschamp?
Oh, I mean, hindsight being 2020, well, I think you could have gotten Sean Elliott for a lot cheaper. So, if he's had a shitty record right now, like Will Muschamp has, I don't think it would have been an issue as far as a buyout to cut strings with him and get somebody new. Well, so there's that. I think he had a lot of passion for the job. I mean, he really wanted it. And if you'll remember, the last game that he coached, and Tater Shits can say whatever they want to. I really don't. I don't give a damn. The last game that he coached, we were within 5 points of knocking off the number 1 team in the country in front of
You were scared shitless.
a 50-50 crowd in our own building. That was the last game he coached and was never seen from again. So
fuck out of here.
Will Muschamp's never come anywhere remotely close to that.
No, he did. He didn't embarrass.
Saying.
Go ahead, comrade. Would you like to keep Sean Elliott, or are you happy that if you could backtrack, would you take Sean Elliott over Will Muschamp?
Let me backtrack a little bit for the new people, okay? As you know, as some people know in here, I'm a huge Will Muschamp fan. And for those who haven't heard the story, when Will Muschamp got fired from Florida, I think I was in the podcast. I'm not sure we did the podcast yet, but I had said or made statements on social media. I said, I think whatever job he gets next, his next head coaching job, he's going to be real successful. And it's too bad it won't be us. Because at the time, we were riding high, kicking asses, taking names. Okay? And so I didn't think that Steve Spurrier would be at the end so quickly soon after. But at the time, we were just rolling up people. And so when everything went to the shiznits and Spurrier quit, I was like, this is perfect now. We can go get Will Muschamp. He'll be perfect here. Okay? And of course, I mean, I think I was the only person who felt that way. And I think I'm the only person who feels that way now. That being said, though, I wasn't sold on Tom Herman. I wasn't sold on Rich Rodriguez. And my whole thing was, if you're not going to hire a Muschamp, I would keep Sean Elliott. I liked him. I like the fact, too, and this is kind of not always a good thing, okay? Because you can make a mistake doing this, too, sometimes. But I like the fact that he is a game – like I know he's from here. Like, he has a love for the Gamecocks. He's a Gamecock fan. And I like that. I mean, I like that. You want to have someone close to your team who cares about this shit as much as you do in terms of – not that Will Muschamp doesn't care. Will Muschamp wants to win, and which is what you want him to do anyway. I mean, he wants to win. But it's also cool to have it where the guy loves your school, too, in terms of has that background, too. So if he was our coach, well, I hate to say this, I don't think we'd be any worse right now. I don't think we'd be worse off. The question is, would we be better off? I don't know if we'd be better off. We might. I mean, he might have turned into what Dabo did, you know? I mean, so I don't know, but
he could have been. I could have seen. He could have been like an Ed Orgeron type.
Yeah, he might have. Maybe.
Go out there and motivate everybody, and let's get everybody pumped up. And if he could have gotten the right coordinators around him to make up for his shortcomings, I could see it. I could see it.
I mean, listen, and you talk about Muschamp right now. And the fact that, his buyout in these economic times, in these challenging times, Rob, we call it challenging times, maybe, Sean Elliott's a guy you go get because he's not going to command a huge payday. I'm not sure. I mean, I imagine he'd come back here. I don't think he's the kind of guy who's like, screw you, man. But, maybe the fact that if you have to get rid of Muschamp and pay the buyout, you're not going to be able to afford a higher tier, name coach, and so maybe you can hire Sean Elliott on the lower side of the pay with incentives and and do it that way. I mean, but I don't think all the Gamecock fans will be happy with that. I mean, you talk to me, Cal. Would you be happy if we fired Muschamp end of this year, say, and brought back Sean Elliott? How do you think the Gamecock fans would react to that?
I don't think he's had enough success at the program he's currently in.
What if he wins the Sun Belt this year?
I don't know. I want to see a younger guy. I really do. That's what's appealing to people. Yeah, that's what's appealing to recruits. That's what puts asses in the seats, and that's what these kids are looking for today. Somebody young, somebody refreshing, somebody with some new views, somebody who's full of piss and vinegar and ready to make a name for themselves. Not some fucking old ass, washed up motherfucker who can't relate.
Well, he's not really old, though, is he?
Sean Elliott's 46.
Yeah, he's not really old. He's like my age.
Okay, well.
I mean, but you're old. Let's get
Fuck
that
you.
shit out there.
Bastard.
You know what? We'll pivot into that.
I didn't realize he was that young.
Yeah, he's a pretty young guy.
We'll pivot into what Kale was talking about here, where relating to recruits. And I want to talk about the final thing this evening. And I think we'll play it if I can get it to move here. Let's see if it's going to work or not. Excuse me. Let's see here. And I'm going to share it too. Let's see if I can. So Coach Swinney was on TikTok. And I'm going to play it for you folks now. And we can. This is embarrassing. But I'm going to play it anyway. Here we go. Let's see if it's going to play. Come on. Hit the play button. Work, damn it. All right. Let's see if it's going to work here. All right. Well, anyway, I think that
I'll do my impression of it.
Go ahead. Do your impression of it. Let's see here. Okay. There we go.
Wait a minute.
Oh, look, it's working now. Oh, there we go. Speak, damn it. All right. Well, apparently it's not going to work. So that's fine.
Who is that?
Anyway, Dabo Swinney's TikTok. It's pretty stupid.
Who the hell was that guy?
That was his son.
Oh.
So he was doing TikTok and he was talking about his drip. What the hell?
I don't even know the hell that even means.
I'm just laughing because, but you, but as soon as you put it out there, all of these players lost their fucking mind. They thought it was the greatest thing ever. You got Pro Bowl wide receivers and Pro Bowl players tweeting out about it, about how it's the greatest thing ever. So maybe we are fucking old, and maybe that's just what the youngins go to. But am I right or am I wrong?
I mean, whatever.
Maybe.
Does it? I mean, to me, it was like, as soon as I saw it, I was like, what the blue fuck are you doing, Dabo? You got 2 national championship rings. What in the blue hell are you doing? But then I'm like, in one way, I'm like, well, he's bonding with his son. Okay. I make cat videos with my daughters. That
One thing I thought was weird about it though. He's so all about being against social media, and he makes the players they have to log out. They all put out tweets and shit like the last week of July. All right,
I'm out, man.
See y'all in January.
That's not his rule though, for Cal. You misspoke. The players make that rule. Dabo's got nothing to do. Not for it's the players' rule. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Just
saying, that's what the players say. I don't.
Actually, the players have said that Dabo enforces it. That came out a few years ago. I got an article about that. He lies about that. He lies.
Well, that's what there have been players that have said point blank that he's done that.
His last name Butts.
Here's the problem. Here's the problem with that. Okay, with people like you who don't know what good football is. Okay, Dabo Swinney runs this program and he wins fucking national titles. So if you could go get your idiot coach who wants to bash members of the media and be a complete jerk off to actually enforce something with the football team that might get them to do something that's valid, you would approve that too, right? Or either that way, or you're happy with 4-8. So which way you're going to?
I'm just saying, why lie about it? Don Stanley has a rule at the same rule, okay? But she doesn't like try to hide behind it not being a rule. She says it's my rule, and she gets criticized for it. People say these young kids. She goes, I don't care. It's my rule. Dabo tries to straddle both lines. Oh, it's not my rule, man. Players, man. Hey, no players, and it's bullshit. Okay. Now, is it true? Is it true that a player first brought it up the first year? Probably. That's true. Is it true that a player every year afterwards says, hey, coach, I like that rule? No. Okay. A player probably brought it up. That will probably like the rule, and then he keeps it every year afterward. He goes, oh, hey, player, it's not me, man. That's me, man. They do it. Black players. Okay. It's an instance here. He can't take criticism. He's got very thin skin. He can't take criticism. He does. Whenever he gets a tough question, he gets real snippy. Okay?
He blows up.
He blows up. Okay? Like, for example, the whole striptease thing, which wasn't a big deal. Not a big deal. It's a bad look. Not a big deal. And he gets asked about it the next day. He's the head coach. And what does he do? I can't believe it's the first question you asked me. I'm out here at a charity. You know what? Maybe I'll just stop doing charities from now on. That's the kind of question I'm going to get. It was like a tough question. All they asked for was his reaction. Hey, Dabo, the tape came out last night. Your players doing a striptease at the coaches clinic for women. You know, any your statement on that? It wasn't like a got you question. It was like, hey, we haven't heard you talk about it yet. It's all over social media last night. You know, give us your thoughts. Oh, I can't believe. Yes. I can't. You know,
and I want to puke whenever I hear him pushing that goddamn little old Clemson moniker all the fucking time, like he's trying to get people, like he's trying to get like the world of college football to feel sorry for little old Clemson because we don't get respect, even though we've been to however many the fuck national championships in the past 5 years. Makes me sick.
No respect.
I don't have to defend Dabo Swinney with anyone that supports the foreign football program. I don't have to. I don't have to.
You know he's full of shit.
Here's my defense of Dabo Swinney. Fuck you and your Gamecocks. He kicks the shit out of Will Muschamp. Will Muschamp's never been within 21 points of him, and he's got 2 national titles. There you go. So you can none of that matters. He throat fucks your team.
You can't defend
it. He got kind of defensive like Dabo.
Rob throwing the towel there now.
He's doing this to your Muschamp guy. He's like, hey, look at my elephant. I'm killing this South Carolina team.
He kind of got like Dabo in those press conferences you're talking about there.
No, I'm just being honest. I don't have to defend him. So I can lean on my national title.
You cannot defend it. You know he can't defend it. So that's all right.
I don't have to defend him. I don't like what he said, but I don't have to defend him. You know why? Because Will Muschamp's an asshole and doesn't win.
But it's not about Will Muschamp. This isn't about Will Muschamp. This is about Dabo Swinney. This is about Dabo Swinney.
Of course it's about Dabo Swinney.
You go I'm going to look at the titles because I know I can't defend my coach saying dumb things being insensitive.
When you get one, let me know.
I can't defend him.
Until then.
I know he's a jackass, but I can't say that because I'm going to lose my base Clemson fans.
Titles.
I don't feel like every Clemson fans tweet me.
Everyone wants to play for him. Sorry.
Will Cooley asked the question, do you think Jeff Scott would make a good coach at USC?
Triggered.
Can't stand. Oh, God almighty. I'll freaking leave.
Maybe. I have to see what he can do this year at South Florida.
It would be awesome.
Oh, I would freaking. Oh my God.
He would fucking be awesome. He would do better than the fucking.
Oh God, I hate that. I swear to God, I may like. Oh my Lord, I would probably freaking protest. I'd be out. Oh my Lord, I can't stand the whole Scott family. I'm not going to get into it again.
Well, here's the thing: you don't like winning, so and Jeff.
No,
Scott
I don't like the Scott family. I don't like him.
Jeff Scott would not lower himself to go to that shithole. Wouldn't do it. Y'all are gonna have a problem
he
finding
would.
a coach. No, he wouldn't. Wouldn't do it.
Yes, he would.
No, I don't. I really and truthfully don't think that he would.
Let's hope we never
The
find
money
out.
that they would pay him, it would be if they offered him that job. If he
I
had some
honestly
success
would
in South
think that
Florida, he would
his
be an
dad
idiot. Not,
coaches with him, and there are Gamecock fans like Comrade who are like, "Fuck his dad." His dad
it is a big time job in the Southeast.
It's not a big time job, Kale.
Big
It
time.
is a big time job.
Big time.
It is a team that should be in the top 10 every year.
Big time
Exactly
job.
what Pigskin Pete and I agree on.
Pigskin Pete. Pigskin Pete knows.
No, you can tell him I said that. When he said I was all on Pigskin Pete because he sounded pretty decent.
You were
Like,
all on him? Good Lord.
I was all on listening to his show. I thought it was good. And then all of a sudden he goes, South Carolina should be in the top 10 every year. I was like,
he's right.
He's damn right.
Hall, we can give you his address. You don't have to put it out here for the world to see it. Holy shit. South Carolina is a horrible football program. They be in the top 10.
We didn't say that's what we said they should be.
That's what they should be.
Should be. We're in a football hotbed.
Hotbed.
SEC.
Miami in the top 10 every year.
Just means
Oklahoma,
more.
Shit.
It just means more.
Tennessee should be in the top 10 every year.
We are
Okay.
a blue blood that's just in hiding.
Whatever.
What we are. Let's be honest. You know what I'm saying?
You think you're a blue?
How can a team that went 0-8 in the conference should be in the top 10 every year?
Because they've won a national title and they're second in the conference.
They won a national title when Dawson's Creek was the number one show on television. Nobody remembers. They cares.
Tell us about the national titles South Carolina has. Also, they're second in the conference for SEC titles. There's that too. We can talk. See, it comes down to those things called winning. That's what makes you a blue blood. Not we have a chicken for a mascot and we should be in the top 10. No one wants to coach at that.
Who was the first pro football program in this state to finish in the top 10 3 straight seasons? Who was the first in the state? Who was it?
Yep.
That's fine. It was South Carolina. That's fine.
Okay.
But the reality is,
so that is our birthright.
Those 3 seasons, how many titles did you win?
Oh, we're in the SEC. That's what happened. That's what happened.
You didn't even win a fucking division.
We're in the SEC. We're in the East, bro. We're in the SEC. We're in the SEC. Missouri's solid, bro.
Mizzou backdoored their way in there.
Mizzou is more of a football power.
Easy schedule they had. Easy West crossover.
Get the fuck out of here with all that.
You know I'm speaking the truth. You think I'm speaking the truth?
No, Mizzou's a better program than South Carolina is too. Overall,
that's all horse shit.
Stop being dumb. Stop being dumb.
Read Mizzou's football acolytes. We can do that. How's that sound?
Do they have a Heisman Trophy winner? Heisman Trophy winner, number 1 draft pick? Okay, that's what I thought.
I don't know if they have a number 1 draft pick. I don't know if
they play.
We've got 2 though. I know they've got 2. They might have 1. They don't have 2.
Yeah. So Mizzou, let's see here.
They play in a stadium that looks like it was out in fucking Mars.
Well, that is
in front of 10,000 fans. Not socially distant.
So here, let's break this down for a second. Mizzou has 15 conference titles. South Carolina has 1. Which one is better?
That's not crappy ass Big 8.
Oh boy, what they win? The Big 4.
Sorry. Yours is in the ACC. So shut your hole. Division titles, 5, 3 in the Big 12 North. And 2 in the SEC East, but that division sucks a dick. It's pretty much Georgia and a bunch of assholes. Let's just be honest on that. So maybe we won't look too much into that. Consensus All-Americans 14. Yeah, they're a better football program than you are.
No more draft picks, though, right? That's what I thought.
Nope.
I don't know. I'm searching for
trophy.
No, we got 2 number 1 draft picks and a Heisman Trophy winner. Sorry. Thanks for playing.
I don't count your Heisman Trophy winner though because he
They
was
don't,
a
they
coach.
don't have any Outback Bowl championships either.
Nope, none.
And we got 4 of them.
Have they ever beat Michigan? Is Michigan the all-time wins leader in football? Is Michigan the all-time wins leader in college football?
They haven't.
They-
They've never
honestly
beaten Ohio
don't know.
State. They've never beaten
I
Ohio
honestly
State.
We never lost to Ohio State
They're
either.
undefeated.
Never lost to them.
They never,
tell you
they
what.
never they beat Notre Dame.
Fans. That pisses them off bad. All right. Well, with that, gentlemen, on Wednesday, we may do Clemson's Mount Rushmore. That sounds like fun.
Oh.
And I thought we would talk
God.
also on Wednesday because my feed's been filled with everybody today talking about NASCAR. I thought we could talk about NASCAR and why I just don't
Sucks.
see NASCAR as a sport. So
God,
maybe we can
no.
talk about it on Wednesday.
It's a sport.
Yeah,
but
No.
it's not really a sport.
I mean,
You just
it's-
drive fast. And
I
turn
can't
left.
watch it.
I
can't
think
watch
I
it.
think I could take Kale right now and train him to be a world class NASCAR driver. Just get in your car, don't drink, and turn left. Make sure you get your
No. Please
speed
no.
right. All right. Well, with that, gentlemen, this show is a wrap. Oh, hell. All right,
Damn.
guys. Thanks for coming out
Jeff
tonight. I
Scott.
appreciate
Holy shit,
See
Jeff
ya.
Scott.
Jeff Scott. Come on, man. Why don't you like this?
I can't stand that fucking family. That's the biggest fucking fake ass family.